Hello, hello. Thank you so much for checking out my channel here at Reflexive Moon Tarot. My name is Sarah, and I just feel for doing some readings tonight, I should say. We're live. Yeah, I missed out on doing new moon readings. I was doing a lot of new moon work myself. Been really busy, also been dealing with, the petri dish of life that causes viruses to run through the house. But yeah. So there may be also the ambiance of Fortnite in the background. And yeah, let's get into some cards for folks. So this will be, I guess we'll just do some general readings. We'll see what happens here. I might decide to do like 4 for the elements, or I'm definitely not going to go through the whole zodiacs right now. Just saying. I really feel like I miss reading and I want to do this. So here we are. I'm using the Tarot of the Divine by Yoshio Shitani. I put the link to their website in the description box, along with other causes that, along with a bunch of causes that you can support if you wish. And there's also my cause that you're more than welcome to support. So let's get into this. I'm not sure where the moon is at right now in terms of astrology. It's astrological position. So we won't really worry too much about that. I love this deck. It has moon. It's very like lunar oriented, and it's very diverse with all of the folklore and mythology and traditional stories that it has to offer. So we have the Page of Cups here. The Page of Cups. This is somebody, I actually got this when I got this card earlier when I was doing some readings. So the Page of Cups is somebody who is charming and lovely and wonderful, lots of energy. They can have a lot of sexual energy depending on how mature or how young they are, I guess. It could be a child, so it may not have anything to do with sexual energy at all, but emotional commitments are really not this page's forte. But they are super cute. The Page of Cups is always super cute, at least. And they, they have a lot of energy and a lot of stamina. So if this person enters your life, I wouldn't expect them to commit to you in any way, shape, or form, but they may want you. As you can see, we have the little bunny here. What do bunnies like to do? They like to multiply. So this little bunny is not somebody that sticks around. Just keep that in mind. All right. Next, we have the Seven of Cups. So making a decision. You're being very indecisive, perhaps. Or this person could also be very indecisive. This page, they go by their feels. It's very Piscean. The energy is definitely ruled by Pisces. So super go with the flow. Sometimes it can be against the flow, though. Depends. Like when you think about Pisces and the 2 fish, one swimming upstream. Oh my gosh, Erykah Badu. Love that woman and the music that she is so generously shares with the world. Let's see what's up next. So the thing with this is that you have these options. Life is grand for you. You have options. You may not feel like life is grand for you right now, but you or this person has options. You could even have options with this person, potentially, given how ready they are for leveling up and how quickly they learn on an emotional level to, move towards whatever whatever it is that you want in life, like knight, queen, or king, not gender specific, just the energies. But yes, so this person has options, and maybe you don't want to be just an option as well. Being an option is, I don't know. Like if that's what you're into, because polyamory is real for a lot of people and it's so valid. But in terms of being just an option, it's kind of selling yourself short on some level. In like if you were to compare it to actual ethical non-monogamous relationships, right? So what do we got here? The Page of Wands, some more page energy. So growth. This person either has a lot of growth to do in terms of figuring out what they want to do and setting their priorities straight. They might just want to have fun or just, piss around, kind of. But it's also like it's where people are at sometimes in terms of growing. Having confidence, learning how to have confidence, learning how to set goals, how to actualize the goals that you set, putting ideas into action. There's a lot when it comes to that, and it's actually it's not a fire that you want to put out. It can be tricky when you have this watery energy though. So if this is a person that you're actually considering as part of this plan, as part of all these options that you have, because they give you a choice, you can decide what your options are, right? It's what you want, it's what you dream of. This is your dream. So if you want this person to be a part of your dream, you need to be very careful about whether or not this watery spirit is going to dampen the fire that you're trying to basically rekindle or build from kindling. So see what's up for the subconscious. We have the Queen of Swords reversed. Dun, dun, dun. Are you messing with yourself? Are you being honest with yourself? Or are you actually this person who is also emotionally manipulative and psychologically abusive? I really it's difficult, when any card is reversed, I'm just like, why? But this is also just about being smart and nurturing what is going to cultivate manifesting the things, right? So it's time to get smart, because this reverse queen within your subconscious, it's almost like this connection, I feel like with this page might not be wise in terms of how it may impact your karma or your spirit as a whole. They might just be an energy sucker. They might be like, their intentions might not be right. And not to say that they're a bad person. It's just that they're not in alignment with what it is that you're trying to manifest right now. So having a reversed queen within your subconscious sort of indicates that your mindset is not really in the right place right now. And there could be so many reasons why that is the case. All of them valid, I'm sure. So it's like choosing you and just maintaining some very solid boundaries is really important right now. Because you don't want to, if you've been working on yourself, or if you're trying to grow mentally, it's really important to make sure that you don't let anything sabotage that. We have the Knight of Coins. This, I feel like, is where you're at right now, where you're moving towards. The Knight of Coins is somebody who is really just trying to focus on the home front, protecting their home front and building on their home front. whatever that may be. So this king could also be a person from your past that has money, that works. If they're reversed, they can be a little bit on the lazy side, but they don't really have a lot of focus. They have drive and they have focus, but not at the same time. So they're really like, they're mature enough to sustain themselves and maybe even thrive on some level. And they could even, like, because they're a knight, they could be, you know, have, like, when you think about traditional hierarchies of monarchies and stuff, you know, it's like when you think of nobility, having like a family that's wealthy that allows for, you know, a person to be a warrior and do that as their profession, right? Could also be maybe even a police officer protecting the property. But either that, like, that's where you could be at too. Like, you're just really trying to protect what it is that you're working for, that you've been working for, so that people are not trying to take away from you or just energetically mess with you, whether that is their intention or not. So moving forward, we have the Two of Swords reversed. Yeah. If this is a person that you're considering as an option for you, I would say that you are not ready for that. If protecting a young person in your life is what you're working on right now, like this could be like a child in your life or your family, I would say that you are experiencing possibly a great deal of anxiety, or you're just really holding on to knowing what comes, like what's going to happen next, and it might be really freaking you out that you have no idea what's going to happen in the near future. So you could be triggered, essentially. Very triggering. This Two of Swords reverse is 100% triggering. We have Judgment, though. So your attitude is like you're ready to receive messages and you are open to that. And that's, I would say that this is what's keeping you from losing your shit for the most part. So it's weird. It's like you have this reverse Two of Swords, but at the same time, like you're actually, it's like you're not 100% a reverse Two of Swords. You know that you're going to get through this, and you know that whatever messages come your way, you're open to receiving them. And we have the Ten of Wands. So getting ready to lay your burdens down and repurpose what you can in order to maintain your commitment to sustainability, and let go of what isn't necessary, and then keep what is necessary as well. But it's like an energetic death on some level, because you don't lose all of your energy. You don't physiologically die. This is just figuring out how to keep on trucking and keep the hustle going, right? I just thought I wasn't even like looking at the chat. Going. All right. So oh, I pulled two cards here. Seven of Wands and the Tower. Wow. That's okay. This is heavy. So like you're really, I would say that you're really afraid of all of the work, this hard work, like this very, like it's almost like work that you've been doing to make major paradigm shifts within you. You're really worried that it's not going to happen, that this individual here might actually block that, or you're just worried almost that everything that you've gone through, everything that you have worked hard for, all of the hardships that you've endured, all of the trauma that you may have experienced, basically all of your blood, sweat, and tears, you're worried about almost like your life experience being in vain, almost. Like it's big. I feel like it's really big compared to everything that's going on right now. It's like there's this, it's not a full-on subscription to catastrophic thinking, because I think this would have showed up earlier in the spread, but there is like that little element like of what if it all crashes and crumbles down. And it's almost like you just want to avoid that as much as possible. So doing whatever it takes for that to be a thing for you. We have the Five of Wands. So there is still some conflict. You're very conflicted. Wow. Some fighting. I don't know, like some type of argument that you are dealing with. But either way, like there's just, it's like life right now for you is like an upward battle, and you're worried about it never ending. It's like you just are worried that the struggle is never going to end. The struggle of finding a supportive partner, perhaps. The struggle of educating yourself. The struggle of having the drive and energy and motivation to begin new projects. Because that's where you're at right now. Like you're at a new beginning, and people recognize that you're at a new beginning with the 10 of Wands here. So you need to acknowledge that as well. And if you feel like this is not really your truth, this is just how people are perceiving you at this time, then you need to perhaps focus on the things that you've worked on so far, the things that you've really put some energy into, that you can either repurpose or like continue that work, like picking up a project that you may have put down at some point in your life. So how are you going to move forward? Pick something, basically. You gotta pick something. All of these things, remember, when the Seven of Cups shows up, it's so important to remember that all of these things are available to you. Like wealth, home, what else was it? Like love and spiritual connections, like everything that we want to have in our lives that create, the wish fulfillment, the element of wish fulfillment that you get with the 10. It's all here. It's all available for you. It's just what order are you going to focus on in terms of obtaining these things? So getting a little bit more organized. Because spiritually, you are all over the place, and it's going to impact your mind. It's going to eventually maybe impact your body. If you don't have your spirit set straight, or just like not set straight, that sounds terrible actually. If you don't have your spirit in alignment or balanced enough to be open to receiving the messages, because like you have the feels, you're open to the feels, but if you mentally cannot process those feels, it's going to impact the way that you connect yourself to everything that you're in relationship with. So that's really important to make sure that you are dealing with internal conflict, dealing with external conflict, and having a grip on reality that is realistic. That sounds so obvious. Hi, I'm streaming. So yeah.
Go get it right now. Oh.
So we have the Six of Cups. There's an element of familiarity that you desire. And perhaps this person would fulfill you on that level. Like they just sort of have like that sort of nostalgic, I don't know, something nostalgic. It could be like you've known them from before, or they remind you of somebody, or it's like just having somebody familiar. And you know, this is a really great person usually to have a platonic relationship with, at least, right? So just making sure that you can trust and that you know that the person doesn't have bad intentions towards you. Like it's all about authentic connection. And it doesn't necessarily have to be sexual. It could just be for the purpose of having someone to talk to, even. Something as basic as that. But just be mindful that, you know, your mindset is in alignment and that like you're compatible. Because sometimes it's not like, sometimes people just aren't compatible as friends. So I don't know. I think this is a good read. I think that it's speaking to things that are really important to consider when pursuing any type of relationship with a person, especially a person that is perceived as being in like a transitional phase of life and at a sort of baseline for emotional well-being and maturity. So that was quite a bit. I think that we should let's do another reading that is focused on career. We'll try to do a career spread here. See what kind of career energy comes through. I like the idea of turning a general reading and focusing in on that seemed more like love and friendship, like a very relationship centered reading that just came through. So let's see what career wise the cards have to say for folks checking out this reading. We have the Strength card reversed. So balancing your primal energies with keeping them in check. Sometimes I find sometimes when this card is reversed, it doesn't necessarily mean like you have like some beastie wild urges. They don't necessarily have to be sexual in nature. This card is ruled by Leo, so it can be very ego-oriented urges, just having your ego run rampant. Sometimes when it's reversed, though, it could be the opposite. It's like having your ego like tied down too much, and you need to sort of like release the Kraken a little bit. So however that is for you, it could be just confidence-wise. It could be sexually. And it could also just be like actually just putting yourself out there and interacting with people, knowing that you are worthy of that is really important. The King of Cups reversed. Okay. So again, there is some transparency issues. Self-love is definitely being called into question here. And overconfidence. And not being, like, I feel like when the King of Cups is reversed, this king is super dishonest. Same thing with the King of Swords. But with the King of Cups, this person has no interest in being honest with themselves and feeling their actual emotions. So expressing themselves is out of the question. And it just ends up manifesting into taking out their intolerance for their own pain on other people. And it's weak. It's very weak. So this person that you're dealing with is weak. Or you are. Yeah, let's see what else is going to come through here. And you know, not to belittle like weakness, because there are people have actual barriers. People have barriers. So just to sort of flip the narrative here, because we are not always dealing with like some, you know, traumatized individual that's not interested in dealing with their shit and harming other people in that process. This person can also actually just be somebody who has the capacity to run things on an emotional level, be very responsible, be like a great head of a household on some level, because this is about emotions, right? And are just, whatever has happened to them is presenting as a lack of strength. And that could be very much stress related. It could be that they have access needs. So there is plenty of valid reasons why. But overlooking the situation, there's a cause for celebration in terms of how you feel at home in what it is that you're doing for work. So you know what you want to do. You know what makes you happy. You know what types of environments you thrive in. And you have a lot to look forward to, I would say, when it comes to springtime. This is a very spring-oriented card, the Four of Wands. It's often depicted as dancing around the maypoles. Here we have like, it looks like, well, let's look it up. Why not? So the Four of Wands, because I don't want to tell a random story that isn't true. Okay. So we have Mohini and Aravan. This is a Sanskrit poem from India. The Four of Wands represents rejoicing and festivities, a well-deserved celebration, and a stable time to be thankful, cherishing loved ones. So Mohini, this is the part I was trying to get at. Mohini and Aravan embrace each other, enjoying the time before the next adventure begins. So enjoying yourself and what it is that you do, despite these circumstances, is a good idea. Something really, like, is what the universe is basically saying to remember. Have some fun. Why not? But just be careful, because, you know, sometimes what you sign up for is not really what you bargained for, right? We have the Four of Swords. Thank you. You may end up, like, you really need to maybe sit with this and analyze it from all angles and make sure that you are really detaching yourself, almost like being dead towards it, if that makes sense, so that you can sort of hover over it and reminisce, contemplate, and then make a decision. And this could also just indicate that spiritually you are disconnected on some level. Or it could also indicate that spiritually you are like on a different level, like not really of this world. You're on a different realm or a different plane where you are really above, and almost, it's almost like your spirit is struggling. Sometimes it can be that your spirit struggles to get grounded and be with everything happening on earth. And yeah, it's like you're really energetically like still with the cosmos. And yeah, it can make people feel like they're aliens when they're in that state. But it's a gift. It is still a gift, and it's something that we should all cherish. That's for sure. Okay, I guess I pulled the Six of Swords. So in the recent past, you've been really all about forward movement towards greener pastures and responsibilities. So the prospect of being responsible for young people in your life, or just being responsible for your growth overall, is definitely Six of Swords energy. But there's definitely a movement away from something towards something new that is not necessarily set in stone. You may not have an idea career-wise of what that is, but either way, like, you're moving in a direction that is good. You have been moving in a direction. Maybe you're there now. Let's see. We have the Knight of Swords. My hair is like really making me itch here. The Knight of Swords. Reversed. So there's somebody in your near future who is really resistant to learning what it is that they need to know. Or they're just kind of closed-minded. So you may find yourself interacting with somebody that is 100% making it very clear that they are closed-minded. They're not interested in... It's almost like if this is somebody that you're involved with romantically, but I don't think it is. I think this is work. So, I mean, if this card represents your work as a whole, I would say there is no more room for growth when you have a Knight of Swords reversed. This Knight does not have your back. This Knight is actually, because this card's ruled by Gemini, so I would even say like there's some, I want to swear. There's some gossip. There's some slander, hearsay, all the shitty things. A bad apple even. That is... There's just a lack of support. It's like, it could even be that the space that you're interested in, that you're trying to cultivate career-wise or financially, the space is not... It's almost like two-faced, the space that you're in. It appears one way, but in actuality, it's not the case. It's like, how that toxic positivity where people, they put on this like very high vibrational space that they're creating, or just this presence, right? High vibrational presence. This could be one person, it could be multiple people, or it could be like a mandate that seems high vibrational, but it's actually not. It's a super toxic space. So that could be what we're moving towards realizing in some type of way. That can be heavy. It's just... And there's also still like a lack of focus and a lack of energy all around when it comes to the Knight of Swords. And you may find, like, if this is you may find yourself moving into a period, hopefully brief, where you're just being very challenged right at that time to be focused and to want to learn new things. Like, it might be very overstimulating for you. So if that is the case, then I would say, please have some type of backup plan, or like figuring out a way to cope with mentally processing what it is that you are engaging with on the daily. And it, like, you're probably just, it goes day by day, right? And you have to do what you got to do. So yeah, this message might not be for you. I mean, I would say, I don't know why that came out. This message is not for everybody. So yeah, coping through one day at a time, even. And also the mind has to do with like dialectical approaches. It also has to do with accessing your creativity. That Gemini energy is also so creative. So creative. So this, if you're a Gemini or you identify with Gemini energy, Sun, Moon, Venus, rising, maybe this is for you. 10 of Wands comes through again, but in the attitude. So there's something that you're not letting go of. You might be holding on to everything that you've done so far, not really interested in doing, like, truly embarking on the new things. They may leave a bad taste in your mouth, the idea of what's new and about to happen for you. It may also just be that you could also just be like really still exhausted. Just be very exhausted. This one, 6 of Coins. Oh, look at that. I want to check out what the 6 of Coins, because I love the 6 of Coins. The 6 of Coins is all about abundance and generosity. And I mean, if you live in North America and you are struggling, I mean, a lot of people in North America really struggle to accept the level of generosity that Indigenous peoples are like inherently still giving. So, and that's all over the world too, right? Like Indigenous peoples who are colonized, like it all starts with their generosity, no matter what. So that is the gift that keeps on giving when it comes to the 6 of Coins. This is the card of philanthropy, of knowing how to take care of everything, basically. It's like everything is everything in a nutshell. And we are responsible for taking care of our relationships with everything. So that can look like so many different things. But here we have a fabulous Inuit elder. Let's look it up here. 6 of Coins. So people see that you're generous despite not being able to learn some things. Now, I don't know if that's due to access needs. It could also just be that you just have a hard time accepting the harsh realities of life, perhaps even. Oh, the woman who was kind to insects. This is Alaska natives. It's an Inuit fable. It does represent, it's still the same meaning: generosity, charity, karma, and value, reward, philanthropy. Putting positivity into the world in order to receive it back. So again, the gift that keeps on giving. So people see that you are really in alignment with those teachings. And that is amazing. And then we have the Four of Coins. You do have a fear of... like you're sort of afraid of people robbing you. You're afraid of being vulnerable, I would say. Even the Four of Coins is a fear of vulnerability. And it's almost like you, when it comes to a fear of vulnerability, that can translate into like basically attracting it. People will see that you are vulnerable, or people are just sort of waiting for the moment to prey on what it is that you profit from, what it is that you have accumulated through your efforts, whatever they may be. And so sometimes that can also make it like where you are so worried about protecting what it is that you have that you completely miss opportunities to gain more. So it's tricky. Missed opportunities is a tricky subject. It's, it's subjective, right? All subjects are subjective, really. To a certain degree. Some things are not open for debate. Let's be real about that. And then we have the Star. So the Star is hope. The Star is knowing or having like it's almost like an unspoken understanding about where we come from, what we're connected to, what's important, that there is so much out there that is so bigger than us. And it's just so important to have that balance of give and take, of having that like micro focus on, because it is basically a micro focus. Even when you think about being focused on the entire earth, it is still a micro focus when you compare it to being focused on the entire universe, right? Like very Horton Hears a Who vibes. So balance of give and take, keeping your mind towards the great unknown, and then also not being so lost in the clouds that you forget about what's important right in front of your face. Caring for those that need you, that require your love and support, that need to be fed, that need to be clothed, that need water, and also your need for self-care as well. Super important. Aquarian energy is all about sustainability. It's all about evenly spreading out the resources so that everybody has enough. And it's what's really there's layers to that. It's so important to be innovative and creative when it comes to that, because everybody has so many different needs. How do you universally make sure that everybody has enough? You have to get specific and make sure that nobody gets left out, because we need everybody in order to move forward. And it's so important that we all hold each other up. So I think that maybe we'll pull an oracle card and call it a night. I like you just the way you are. I love that message. Shout out to the late Mr. Rogers and all the kids who were raised on TV that needed some positive messages in their day. And still do. So here we are. Let's pull a... What do we want to do? I know I had... Here we go. Spiritual AF. So I know YouTube has been censoring the swears. I might avoid them. Let's see. All right, we're good. Once you start laughing, you start healing. Laughter is the best medicine. Words to live by. So you aren't ready to laugh at what's going on. Then laugh. If you aren't ready to laugh at what's going on, then laugh at something else. The internet is filled with ridiculous shit. Laugh at that or call up your best friend who you trust to make fun of your problems in that loving, brutal way that they do. Just start laughing. You don't have anything to lose. Watch reels on Instagram. There's so much funny stuff out there. Truly, truly. But anyways, thank you so much for checking out the reads. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Take care and bye for now.